This is a positional guide to Jiu-Jitsu for beginners. If you're not a beginner, this video will probably be boring, but if you are a beginner, you're likely to get a lot of value from it. We'll be looking at the major positions of Jiu-Jitsu: the guard, guard passing, mount, side control, and the back. The overall objectives, common submissions available from them, tips, and more, starting with the guard. Guard. When you're on the bottom with your legs between you and the top player, you have a guard. A guard is exactly how it sounds. It guards you from your opponent when you are on the bottom. Generally, it's much easier for your opponent to control and submit you on the bottom when you do not have a guard, as when you do not have a guard, you won't be able to use your legs to control them. Which is why they're looking to pass their guard in the first place, by getting their legs in front of your legs. Notice how in mount, side control, and the back, the attacker is in front of the bottom player's legs. In your guard, you want to use what you have available to control the top player, your legs, but also your arms. Generally, the more you can connect to the top player with your hands and feet, the easier it will be to control them. Which is why I recommend looking for 4 points of connection when playing guard. 3 points of connection should be the minimum, but 4 is often ideal. You connect to the top player not just to control them and prevent them from advancing past your guard, but also to advance and position yourself. Positional advancement from your guard will either be attacking submissions from your guard, sweeping, or getting yourself behind their elbows to take the back. Sweeping means to knock the top player over to the bottom so you can become the top player for yourself. In a tournament, you get 2 points for a sweep. Whether you sweep and come up on top into their guard, or pass their guard as you sweep, you get 2 points. This is a common misconception for beginners. The top player, when looking to pass, will either be on their knees or on their feet. When they're on their knees, common positions for the guard include closed guard, where you wrap your legs around their torso; butterfly guard, where you have the insteps of your feet between the top player's legs; and half guard, where the top player has one of their legs between your 2 legs. Common variations of half guard include half guard knee shield, where you use the knee or shin of your top leg to control the distance between you and the top player. Half guard butterfly, where your outside foot comes into the middle between their legs to act as a butterfly hook. When the guard player is on their feet, standing, there are many different types of guards, and most revolve around connecting your feet to the inside of their knees, their hips, or the inside of their elbows. Basically, either their upper body or their lower body. Most of these guards are named after the way that you connect your feet to the top player, on the inside of the knees, the hips, or the inside of the elbows, which is why it's a good idea to target these areas with your feet when your opponent is standing in your guard. When you're looking to pass the guard, your number 1 objective should always be to stay on top. You can't pass the guard if you get swept, or if your opponent simply stands up. You can't let them do either one. Of course, you also want to make sure that you don't get submitted. You need to prioritize staying on top and not getting submitted as you look to position yourself past the bottom player's legs. They will be looking to use their hands and feet to connect to you and control you. While the hands are often important to address, generally it's the feet that present the most amount of danger to you. If they can move their feet freely, they can more easily enter into submissions and enter into sweeps, which is why it's crucial to prioritize keeping the bottom player's feet off of you. This is what good guard passers do. They make sure to control their feet and not easily connect to them. You can pass on your feet or your knees, but generally I think it's a better idea to stay on your feet where you have more mobility. I love when people try to pass on their knees because it often makes my job a lot easier. A great way to think about guard passing is that you want to get past the feet first and then the knees second. In my Jiu-Jitsu theory course, I call this layers of defense. You should check that out if you want to learn more about the underlying concepts of Jiu-Jitsu. To pass, you can either go around the legs, through the legs, under the legs, or over the legs. Generally, around the legs and through the legs are most common. When you pass the guard, the main positions that you're looking to enter into are side control, mount, and the back. So let's now look at those positions. A lot of Jiu-Jitsu practitioners obsess over a huge amount of supplements before and after training. But one of the most overlooked parts of supplementation isn't flashy at all. It's about what you put in your bottle. For a long time, I didn't think about it much either. Water was water, and if I was drinking enough, then I was good. What I didn't realize is that sweat doesn't just take water with it. It also strips out minerals that your body uses to stay sharp and move well: sodium, potassium, and magnesium. When those aren't replaced properly, that's when you start feeling fatigue and muscle cramps. And you don't perform at your best, to say the least. That's what led me to Element, a zero sugar electrolyte mix built around the minerals that your body desperately needs. No artificial sweeteners, no junk. Just the right amount of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. I'm enjoying their new sparkling cans, as well as their chocolate or caramel flavors. They're perfect for winter. You can put it in coffee or drink it on its own like hot chocolate. And now you can grab a free sample pack with any order using my link, so you can try their most popular flavors. Get yours at drinkelement.com/JordanTeaches. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinkelement.com/JordanTeaches. Top mount. Mount is a position where you're on your knees with the bottom player between your knees. Typically, you want to be chest to chest, so you can more easily keep their back pinned to the mat. Mount is a very dominant position. In most tournaments, you get 4 points for achieving mount, and it's a great place to attack submissions. Submissions can be attacked from a low mount where your hips are closer to their hips, or a high mount where your hips are closer to their shoulders. From a low mount, common submissions include the following: Americana, where you grab their wrist with one hand and your own wrist with your other hand, and then rotate their arm. Arm triangle. This is where you capture their head and arm together with your arms and then squeeze to choke them. Cross collar choke. This is obviously a gi only choke, where you grab the lapel with one hand and the other lapel with the other hand to choke them. Ezekiel choke. A bit less common than the previously mentioned submissions, but for this there are both a gi and no gi version of the Ezekiel choke. Submissions from a high mount. Armbar. For an armbar, you bring your hips to the shoulders and then throw your leg over their head, and then extend their arm until they tap. Often, but not always, you enter S mount first, a variation of mount where you make an S shape with your legs to better control their arms as you enter into the armbar. Triangle. This is similar to an arm triangle, except you use your legs to capture their arm and head rather than your arms. For the majority of these submissions, you'll need to separate the bottom player's elbows from their body to obtain the submissions. There are different ways to do so, but underhooks especially are an effective way of doing so. Separating their elbows from their body is not only a precursor to entering many submissions, but it also makes it more difficult for the bottom player to escape, as they won't be able to use their elbows or hands to push off of you to make space and get their legs back in front of you. Bottom mount. The primary objectives when in the bottom of mount are: position your legs back in front of the top player, meaning re-guard, or become the top player for yourself by rolling your opponent over. You need to do these while also preventing the top player from submitting you, which is why it's a good idea to prioritize keeping your elbows close to your body and your hands on the top player's hips. This makes it easier to push and get your legs back in front, as well as prevent many submissions from the top player. As again, many submissions from the top require separating the elbows from the body. If you do things like reach up and unintentionally separate your elbow from your body, you'll often just give your opponent a free submission. Side control top. Side control is a dominant position where you have passed the guard and are to the side of your opponent. The primary objectives are either to submit your opponent or enter into an even more dominant position like mount or the back. Common submissions include the following: Americana, Kimura, which is similar to an Americana except you rotate their arm in the opposite direction with opposite grips. Armbar. Once control of the arm is secured, you typically want to spin around the head and enter into the armbar position. Canto choke, where you grab the lapel and step over their head to choke them. For all these submissions, it's usually easier to attack the far arm rather than the one that's closest to you. The arm that's closest to you is the near side arm, and is something they may use to help escape or defend submissions. Which is why it's often a good idea to insert your knee underneath that arm or your knee over top of that arm. Personally, I especially like going over top of it. This is called stapling, and often it makes it easier to attack submissions because you don't have to worry about that arm getting in the way. A key objective for the bottom player is to re-guard by getting their legs back in front of you. To prevent this, you may need to transition elsewhere at times if you feel the threat of them re-guarding. Two great places to transition to are knee on belly, where you pin the bottom player's hips with your shin, as well as north-south, where you change the angle of your body so that your feet face opposite directions. If you're looking to enter mount, you need to make sure that you do so carefully, because otherwise they may be able to catch your leg as you try to and re-guard. You don't want to regress as you're trying to progress. Bottom side control. Primarily what you're looking to do is get your legs back in front of the top player, become the top player for yourself, or transition to turtle. It is very difficult to roll someone over from side control, so generally trying to re-guard or transition to turtle are better options. To more easily be able to do so, it's important to prioritize not letting your opponent connect their hands around your head and arm. This is a seatbelt grip and functions very much like a seatbelt. It controls you and makes it more difficult to escape, and it separates your elbow from your body, which is what is needed for many submissions from side control. Your priority when in side control or about to be put in side control should be to prevent your opponent from being able to connect their hands around your head and your arm. A good rule of thumb in Jiu-Jitsu as a whole is to never let someone grab your head. Back top position. The back is a position where you have your chest on your opponent's back, with their hips between your knees. This is a very dominant position, especially because their tools to defend or attack are positioned looking away from you, their arms and their legs, both facing away from you. Typically from the back, you'll place your feet between your opponent's legs. These are called hooks and they control the hips. Alternatively, you could secure a body triangle, which is generally even more powerful. Although if you have short legs like I do, it can be difficult to lock up depending on the size of your opponent. You can also use your legs to trap arms, which often makes entering into submissions much easier. The most common submissions from the back are as follows. The rear naked choke, where you make a V with your arm underneath their neck and connect your hand to your bicep or your hand to your hand. The bow and arrow choke, where you grab their collar with one hand and their pants with your other hand, although other variations exist. Armbar. This is one of my favorite submissions from the back. It's often set up using a Kimura grip. Rear triangle. This is where you bring your hips higher towards the shoulders and capture their arm and head with your legs. This is very much like a seatbelt grip, but with your legs. Although less common, shoulder locks in either direction are also very effective. Back bottom. Your primary objective is to get your back off your opponent's chest. You want to turn and face them. To do so, you need to fight where they're connected to you, their hands and their feet. When you break these or prevent these connections, the attacker will have less control over you. You'll have more ability to turn and face and progress your position. To defend against their submissions and control, it's often a good idea to focus on controlling the hands of the attacker. You don't want to let their arm go underneath your neck or attack other submissions, and they'll need their hands to do so. There's a lot that goes into grip fighting, but one thing that may be helpful to focus on as a beginner is a 2-on-1 baseball bat style grip. This does a great job of controlling the attacker's top arm, which is their choking arm, and make it difficult for them not only to submit you, but control you in general. This isn't the only way to defend and control the attacker's arm, but I wanted to leave you with something helpful and actionable. If you've made it this far, I assume you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I think you'll really benefit from and enjoy my Jiu-Jitsu beginner course. In it, I go further into the objectives, I show you how to do all these effective moves and more, and I go over mat safety and a whole bunch of other stuff that's important for beginners. And you can pick it up right now for $25 off by using code YouTube25 at checkout. Alright, if you're still here, please leave a comment or a fist bump, and I'll see you guys next time.